I always look at it as I'm not in Arizona, but yes, Arizona is the same way. I'm in a little town in BC, Canada, and yeah, we don't change our time. But everyone around us changes their time, so it's like in the beginning of the year we're on Pacific time, and end of the year we're on Mountain time. And then my friend who's on Central Time, it goes from being like an hour's difference to a 2 hours difference. So like right now he's 2 hours different than me, and then in the fall we go back to just an hour. It's very confusing. It is very, very confusing. The only bonus about it is we don't have to worry about changing our clocks. But if you're a TV watcher, like, well, I don't anymore, but when I was a teenager, I hated it because when the time change happened, all my TV shows were like an hour later or an hour earlier. Like, it was annoying. That is interesting. That is really interesting. Hi, buddy. You back? Yeah? Are you disappointed because I put the roving in a bin so that you couldn't get it anymore? I came in here yesterday. I had gone somewhere to do something and I forgot to shut the door. And I came in here and my um, alpaca roving and my roving that I got from the sheep named Rusty were on the floor, scattered. Yes, that would be very like I know like when we have to go to like the next town over, um, phone switches, but I don't know about constantly. That would be annoying. Right? Exactly. I hate time changing. It's like it's not so bad when it changes in the fall because you get that extra hour of sleep that first day, and it's just like, but when it changes time in the spring, especially when I worked or went to school, it was just like, oh, God, it's like jet lag or something. I don't even know what jet lag is because I've never been on a plane, but you know. It's what I assume jet lag feels like. I know. That's another thing. Right? But yeah, just leave it. Just leave it. Get rid of the daylight savings. That's crazy. Yeah, here it's just, you hit that one mark, and it's only like not even an hour away. It's like half an hour drive to the east, and your time will change. Exactly. Right? It's nice when you have friends that stay up really late, because then it works out. Like, I used to have a best friend that lived in Wales, and she tended to stay up really late. So, we would hang out all the time, and then like I tended to stay up late too, and I would run into her like, yeah, it was like we would take turns. But she did pretty much get herself on my schedule, and we would hang out all the time. Welcome back from Adland, those that got stuck in it. What's up, buddy? What's up? Hmm? Here. Yeah. Well, your ear already looks better, and I only gave you one dose of that medicine. Yeah, I don't know if it feels any better, but it looks better. Um, I haven't fully thought ahead yet. I just mainly know that I want to ply this turtle shell that I'm making with this one. And the only reason, because normally I just, because this is a center pull ball, normally I just take the top end and the center and I ply it together that way. But the other half of this roving has quite a bit of white in it, and I kind of want them to sort of like go together. So I'm thinking I might, I don't know yet, but I might ply them, do it like a 2-ply of these two together on one of my spinning wheels. Um, I mean, I could do it on the drop spindle too, but I feel like I'll be able to fit more on a spinning wheel, so. And then, I don't know, I'm going to have to find a project to go with it. I do have a project for this stuff in mind. This stuff I did on a spinning wheel, but my plan is to spin up more of this and then make a sweater, I think. Like, I just have, like, I look at this and I really want to make a sweater with it. So, this one I have a plan for. And this one was spun with some of this stuff. It was like called Zebra something, 100% wool. I bought it off Amazon. It spins up really pretty. And then I had dyed up some roving with some black beans. So yeah, I spun them up and plied the two together. So I have more of this stuff. And I'm going to make more of this stuff. And then I'm going to knit a sweater with it. But this one, I still haven't figured out what I want to do yet. I just was like, I'm going to make pretties on the drop spindle. And that's about as far as my brain let me go. Before I, like, jumped on board and started making something. But the rainbow yarn that you see in the corner of my screen, that I am making into a very big rainbow shawl. I'm almost halfway through. I'm on the darker blue now. And I'm about halfway through that ball of yarn. I thought about making socks with this, but this is like hand wash yarn, so hand washing socks, no. Ooh. Nice. Fingerless gloves would be nice. I could try, though this is kind of thin, I could try doing null binding with it. That's something that I want to get into. I've done a little bit of it, and I've thought about doing like some fingerless gloves or something like that with null binding. I could attempt to do skinny thread null binding. I don't know if it'll work though. That's something fun though. I really enjoy, well, what I've done. And those who don't know what null binding is, it's kind of like a cross between, how would I describe it? It's kind of like knitting or crocheting, but you use like a needle. I need to buy some, but I made Right. This is a good song. I made this null binding needle. And do I have... See if I can even remember how to do it. Because I've only done a little bit of it, and that was a little while ago now. But basically you take chunks of thread and you I know I'm doing this wrong. I know the first one is... How do I do it? You gotta have the thread a certain way. I'm gonna have to watch a video, I think, because I have forgotten how to do it. It's something kind of like this. I'm messing this up completely. And then you like push the one off, and then you go in to the loop and back down again. Something like this. And it starts to grow. I know I'm screwing it up. I'll have to watch a video again on how to start it. But it's neat because you're just... It kind of works up sort of like... Kind of like crochet. But you're using a needle. And it's neat. And I want to do more of it. We are dropping it. We are dropping it. Sorry, I got distracted. Keep me on task. I gotta get this roving done. I'm so easily distracted. You can. You can. And I say that because I've done it. And I still have more of my dog's fur that I need to wash and spin up. But this here was a mix of dog hair and my cat's hair. So I blended the dog hair and cat hair together, spun it up, and then I plied it with a strand of spun wool. But this is my husky's hair. So you can do it. And I spun, like, fine. You don't have to spin this fine. It has a shorter staple length, and you will get a lot of fur all over you when you're spinning. You will be covered in fur. But if you've got a decent staple length, or like a husky or any long-haired dog, as long as it's brushed, I mean, you can spin cut fur. It does work. It doesn't spin as nice, and it doesn't feel nice. You can do it, but it's better to just, like, brush. Brush the dogs, or if they're, like, going through their major shed where they're, like, you can pull clumps out. That stuff's good, too. It just... it's smoother to spin, so it doesn't have um, the little burrs that wool does, so it doesn't quite grab. But you can still spin it just fine. It's like spinning. Of course, you're new to spinning, so you wouldn't know. But like, not all fibers have that grab that wool does, but you can still spin it. Like right now, Shelly knits and her husband are collecting. Like they've been brushing their dog Rocky, and I think a little bit of Wilder, and they're putting it all in a bag. And I'm going to spin it up for them. Yeah, it's probably like spinning dog hair is probably similar to spinning Angora. I these are my combs, and yes, I was brushing the orange cat because I want to get some of his orangey fur to blend, I think, with some of Vic's fur. Um, but this is what I use because I can't afford actual carders, and it works good. And then I also have a blending board, so I also blend on this. I wish I had a drum carder, but I don't have room for a drum carder. He actually was very much enjoying the brushing. He almost enjoys brushing as much as Mystique does. Pickles, on the other hand, is like, what, what are you doing? Okay, I'll rub my chin on it. But yeah, she's not as big of a friend or fan of the brush. If you just have like two dog brushes like I showed you, you should be able to make up little floofs to spin up. And I've spun both on drop spindle as well as spinning wheel. It definitely was easier using, I actually used my nano to spin that stuff up. And it was definitely easier and quicker, but you could still very much do it on a drop spindle. I want my aunt to save their cat's fur because they have a fluffy, very fluffy, long-haired cat whose name is Fluffy. She's so fluffy. And like they brush her all the time. She's an outside cat. So like my aunt's like, oh, but it's like, you know, there's lots of dirt and stuff in it. I'm like, that's why you clean it and process it. So I think it's cool. I actually somewhere in my camper. I gotta find it. It's somewhere. I knitted a hat with that stuff. Um, and I want to do something with that. I wouldn't say it's next to skin soft, but it definitely a hat for sure. And I want to. I don't know. I want to do something else with it. I just don't know what yet. So I have it sitting there. But it is nice because, well, especially now that I no longer have my dog, so that's kind of like a little part of him. Maybe I'll like weave it or something. Right? I need to get. I am fortunately because all my cats are short haired cats, and while you can spin it, it doesn't spin very well. It's ridiculously soft though. It doesn't spin very well, and it's very brittle when you do spin it. Um, but you could blend it in with other stuff. You could blend it in with wool. Alrighty. Have a good day at work. Hopefully it goes by fast for you. Now on to the dreaded pink that dyes the hands. I always dread when I get to this one. Look at that. Just rubbing my fingers on it and I'm already getting pink. Pink! Pink rules, but it does stain. Oops. So now that you've washed up some of this roving, are you going to try eventually dyeing a little bit of it? Or are you going to keep it as is? I can't remember if we've discussed that part or not.